Some stories aren't just scary. Some of them, slowly, very slowly, creep into your mind. And once they do, they never leave. Tonight, you won't be facing a legend. These are real criminal cases. Cases that were closed, but their truth was never buried. You might think you're alone, but every sound, every shadow, could be more than just a coincidence. So before we continue, pause for a moment. Turn off the lights. Turn up the sound. And whisper to yourself. Some truths were never meant to be heard. What you are about to hear may haunt your mind for a long time. Case 1, the man who never existed. In 1991, the police of a small town came across a strange scene. A body was found, a man around 40 years old, with no identification, no ID card, no fingerprints, not even a medical record. But the creepy part of the story was this. No one in the town remembered seeing him. Neighbors said, "We have never seen him." Hospitals, no records. Banks, no accounts. It was as if this man had never existed. When the autopsy was performed, the coroner stated that his death was not natural. Someone had deliberately killed him. But the question remains, if this man never existed, who could have been his killer? The case became even stranger when it was discovered that all city records that might provide a clue had vanished, as if someone didn't want anything about him documented. Police reported, no cameras, no witnesses, nothing. No evidence to solve the case. Even years later, no answers were found. This case is an example of a crime that not only remains unsolved, but forces us to ask ourselves every day, if someone never existed, was his killer real, or something beyond our imagination? Case 2, the house that breathed at night. In 2003, a family moved into an old, abandoned house. A house so cheap, far cheaper than it should have been. The space was dark and cold, the walls cracked, and the floor filled with strange, echoing sounds. The first night, there was only sound. A strange, incomprehensible sound, like the walls themselves were breathing, sometimes slowly, sometimes fast. The family tried to ignore it, but no one could. On the second night, the sounds became footsteps. The mother whispered softly, "I feel as if the walls are breathing, and someone is watching us." A week later, the youngest son disappeared. When the police entered the house, at first they found nothing. But after breaking through the basement wall, a horrifying truth was revealed. The remains of several children. The house had once been the home of a serial killer. A killer who was never caught. And perhaps, is still there. Every night, the wind whistled through broken windows. And shadows moved along the walls, even when no one was in the house. Old furniture creaked, and at times it seemed as if an invisible presence passed by the walls. The family reported that lights would flicker on and off by themselves. And they felt something inhuman lurking in the house. The police recorded the case, but there was no evidence to catch the killer. The clues were dark and confusing, and the family could never fully understand the truth. A house that seemed ordinary became a prison of fear and horror. This case is a reminder that some houses are not just houses. They hold secrets, dark and hidden, and if you get too close, you may never leave alive. And anyone who encounters this story can feel that some sounds, some shadows, are never truly real, and some truths remain forever in the darkness. Case 3 is one of the strangest and most disturbing files the police have ever encountered. A case that did not begin with blood, not with screams, not with a crime scene. but with a simple audio recording. The tape was found inside a desk drawer. It belonged to a 37-year-old man. He lived alone. No close family. No criminal record. An ordinary office worker with what appeared to be a quiet life. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. On the recording, his voice sounds calm, but there is a slight tremble beneath every word. He says, "If anyone is listening to this tape, it means I'm no longer alive." He explains that for several weeks, strange things have been happening inside his apartment. At first, they seemed insignificant. Faint noises. Sudden drops in temperature. A constant feeling of being watched. But after a few nights, everything changed. He says that every night, at exactly 3:15 a.m. he hears footsteps coming from the hallway. The footsteps are slow, steady, and precise. Not like an animal. Not like pipes or old wood. But like the footsteps of a human being. The footsteps move closer. They stop right behind his bedroom door. And then, nothing. Every time it happens, he says, the air becomes heavy. Breathing feels difficult. And a deep, unexplained fear takes over his entire body. To make sure he isn't imagining it, the man installs security cameras in his apartment. For the first few nights, nothing happens. But on the fourth night, at exactly 3:15 a.m. the sounds return. Later, the police reviewed the footage. At that exact time, the cameras are working. The hallway is visible. But nothing appears. No movement. No shadow. No person. Yet the sound is there. Captured on the audio tape. The man continues recording. "I know I'm not losing my mind. The sound is real. It comes closer every night." At this point, his breathing becomes rapid. The sound of his heartbeat is clearly audible. He pauses, as if listening to something just outside the room. Then he whispers, "Tonight is different. I can feel it." There is a long silence. Then the sound of something being dragged across the floor. A slow, scraping sound. Very close. And then, his final sentence, "He's standing right behind me." The tape abruptly cuts off. 1 week later, neighbors report a strange odor coming from the apartment. Police force the door open. The apartment is perfectly clean. No signs of a struggle. No blood. No broken furniture. The man's body is found on the floor. His eyes are wide open, frozen in an expression of pure terror. The medical examiner lists the cause of death as cardiac arrest. But during a closer examination, marks are discovered on his neck. Fingerprints. Larger than normal. Distorted. And impossible to match to any known human being. The case is officially closed. No suspects. No explanation. No answers. And this case reminds us that some sounds should never be recorded. Some truths should never be heard. Because if tonight, at exactly 3:15 a.m. you hear footsteps behind your door, it may no longer be just a sound. Some cases are solved. Some remain open forever. But the most terrifying cases are the ones that might still be ongoing. So take a look at the clock. If it's close to 3:15, listen carefully. And remember, some things, once heard, can never be ignored.